All right, small group leaders. This is the vlog for the 17th and 18th of January 2017. Senior high, we're going to be working through James 1 to 18. Again, we're going to be talking about trials, and we're going to be talking about persevering through them and how they refine our faith. And so here's a short list of true, false, and discussion questions that we're going to look into, and I'll just jump right into it. Number one, trials are those annoying little things like my cell phone not working right or not getting the right brand of clothing. This is false. That's materialism, and we want to make sure our students understand the difference between what a real trial is, and they do go through real trials. We want to make sure that we affirm the fact that even in our culture we face trials. And so I kind of want them to identify things that are real trials, maybe disease in the family or death in the family, or even a prolonged fight, divorce. There's a whole list of things that high school students go through that we want to affirm those are tough things. And so let's not make light and make too many jokes, but this question is in and of itself a way for them to distinguish between what's a real trial and what's just materialism and culturalism. Okay, so of course that one's false. Two, when things truly hurt, God has walked away from me. That is definitely false. The Bible tells us that God will never leave us or forsake us, and we want to kind of make that answer. I know some of these questions are pretty easy for kids who have been in the church a long time and heard these verses a lot. But let's be realistic. There are some kids in our group that have no clue about this stuff. So number three, trials help to refine my faith. That means that when I stay obedient to God's word, even though things are tough, I become more like Christ. That is definitely true. As we are refined, as we go through the fire, hopefully some of those things will fall off, and help walk your students through how going through a trial makes you more like Christ. Make sure we hit on the fact that trials help us to give up worldly things. They help us to put what's really important into its proper place. And so as you go through that question, make sure you hit on that. Number four, for a Christian, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. This is true. We're talking about eternity. God does give some blessings, and we'll hit that in the next question, but God does give some blessings temporarily, like while we're here on earth. But then ultimately, the Christian blessing is eternity with Him, being with Him face to face. And there are a myriad of other blessings that go along with that, seeing our Christian relatives who have passed on before us, and all sorts of stuff. And there are all sorts of blessings here. I mean, just being in North America helps us, should help us to appreciate the fact that we can meet together that without fear of persecution. That's a blessing. So there's a lot of blessings now, but there is, for the Christian, in every struggle and every depression, we need to understand that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, and that is Jesus. Number five, blessings sometimes come in this life, but ultimately our blessings are eternal. That is definitely true. God does bless us in this life, but ultimately, like I just explained, our blessings are eternal, and they last forever, and they can't fade, and the moth can't eat them, rust can't destroy them, all those things that the Bible tells us. So, okay. Discussion questions. I have three. Number one, what does it mean to face trials? And again, this is a lot like the first question in true and false. Let's identify what true trials are. And then we can even identify what our brothers and sisters around the world suffer through. Number two, how do trials help make us more like Christ? Again, talking about those things where the rough edges are refined, they're smoothed down by these trials. You can equate trials to, kind of being put in a tumbler where, how you polish rocks. If you were a kid in my day and age, there were these goofy little tumblers that you could buy, and you could get rocks and you could throw them in there, and they would polish them up after being spun in that tumbler for a while. Basically, trials are those refining moments. We will probably watch God's Chisel, which is a Skit Guys deal. It's a pretty poignant little little skit that they do about how God breaks away the things that are not of Him in us. Okay, number 3, have you ever had a trial where you thought God had abandoned you? If so, how does a verse like Hebrews 13:5-6 make you feel? Let me pull that up real quick for you. And so at this point, we really want them to begin to understand, or begin to think of themselves, think of any trials that maybe they have gone through, and kind of, if they're comfortable, they can verbalize that, and if not, that's okay. But I want them to think in that way. Hebrews 13:5-6 says this: keep your life free from love of money and be content with what you have, for He has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper, I will not fear. What can man do to me? So as they think through that question, have them verbalize, what does it mean to them that God is always with them, even as they suffer through things, even as they go through hard times. How is knowing that God is always there make them feel? And so, yeah, that's what we've got going for this week. Looking forward to it. Again, senior hires, looking forward to this weekend. John and Josh and Kara and Jessica and Rebecca, we're going to have a great time. Yeah, looking forward to bringing home another broomball trophy. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Junior high leaders, like I said, we're a week ahead of the senior high. We're going to be going through James 1:19-27, and we're going to be talking about how to live the gospel. And what does that look like? And so we're going to be talking about not just hearing the word, but doing the word. We're going to be talking about, true religion before God. And so there's a lot of stuff involved in that. I will get your leader sheets out hopefully Monday, Tuesday. Okay? All right. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for doing what you do. Bye-bye.